No, we're just chilling, right?
We're going live. We'll just chill for a couple minutes, then we'll
No,
start.
we'll just chill. When people join.
When people join, they'll find us just chilling. Now be aware the mics are hot.
Boner.
Bonaire, if you will. We are
How do I pull up
live boys in the
There we go.
house. Ooh, I'm gonna have an issue, I bet you. I'm gonna pull up the stream and see. No, I won't hear it on here. You're gonna have to keep that volume low.
Yep. There we go, though. I can see the chat.
Keep that volume low.
You can put smiley faces in the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we are.
This is it, man. We're podcasting.
This is stuff right here.
So Scott.
Who do you think the first guest will be?
Well,
Other
Josh
than
was
us.
making posts, so maybe Josh.
That's true. This is usually where I get my burps out.
You can, but you might gross out our audience
Fair enough.
whenever they get here.
They'll be here.
This is what I did last time. I brought it up.
Hey, first guest.
Who we got?
The big D. Daniel Withers.
Daniel Withers.
Oh, we got multiple people watching now, so get nervous.
That's my secret, Scott. I'm always nervous.
Thanks for joining, gang. We're gonna start the episode in a couple minutes, so get
Just,
cozy and chat, get to know each other.
yeah. I apologize if my clicks are too loud.
We got a old loud mouse over here. Yeah, people are saying things, Max.
What are they saying?
Daniel Withers says, "Sup, guys?"
Hey,
Lizzie
Daniel.
says, "Hey."
Hey, Lizzie.
Joshua Rivera says, "Psst, give me a winky eye," and I did. Daniel says that Sarah also says hi, and then he winks. I don't know how to take that. So this is gonna be the live stream, guys. I'm gonna read your comments.
That's how we do it here. Okay.
You doing all that stuff?
I'm doing all that good stuff.
Cool. I'll give you guys a little teaser here. We're gonna have a giveaway today for all the viewers live, so you guys are already entered in a giveaway. So how about that?
How about that?
8:01, the witching hour.
We could, yeah, 8:01 the witching hour.
Right. Look at that. Max Rivera already shared the video. First. Pete just went downstairs to make sure. Yeah. I'm saying hit him with the instead of
Mm-hmm.
We have a request to hug from chat.
Should we hug?
There's a lot of apparatus here. So
It's $5 for a hug, Josh. Just PayPal it.
Venmo, yeah.
Yeah.
Need that. We did a little fist bump before.
We did.
live,
It was
But that was
sweet.
for us.
Yeah.
That's not for you.
We can hug.
It's going to be like a... There it is.
That's for Josh.
That's for them.
That's for the show.
Oh, that looks good. That looks good in motion.
It looks good. So I hope everyone's having a good day today.
Yeah, how was everyone's Wednesday? Go ahead and post in the comments one mood you had today. But now we have to wait to see it. There's a little lag there. Our interaction can't be like that.
Yeah, guys, there's about an 8-second delay, just a heads up. The big thing for this is we'll have questions randomly. Feel free to share the video. The more sharing you do, the more this goes around, the more viewers we can possibly get. Hey, Mom. My mom just joined.
Hey. Happy Mother's Day. Belated, I know, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Ellie Morales. Happy Mother's Day.
So.
I was going to say something.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I don't remember. I just wanted to encourage everyone who's gotten here early to put some questions in the chat if you want. And, we'll answer them maybe.
Yeah, we might answer.
How about that?
To be fair, make them like more movie or podcast questions. That'd probably be the best idea. Either about our podcast, about podcasting, about movies we've watched, or movies we haven't watched but know of. I don't know.
And you know what? I'll answer questions that aren't about movies. I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And happy birthday to all the people born out there.
There we go. That covers everything.
There we go. We're done.
Covers
and you know what?
everything.
Happy Dad's Day, too.
Yeah. For all the dads and the soon-to-be dads.
All right. Should we start this thing here soon?
Sure. You want to start it?
Yeah.
Want to do the count?
No. You guys are in for a treat, though. In a minute, you're in for a treat.
All right, and we're in for a treat now. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
By the way, your questions have been noted. And I'll do my best to remember them. Hello and welcome to a live airing of the Critical Breakdown, the podcast where we start at the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes and work our way to 100% fresh. I'm Scott.
And I'm Max, and today we are looking back at, 60 movies?
60 movies.
60 rotten films. Yeah. So we started like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I think our first episode went up either on April Fool's Day or like April 2nd of 2016.
Yeah. So a lot of people thought we were joking, but we weren't.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. And, of course, we started at 0%, and every week we've moved up Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
So
this is actually our 69th episode.
Yeah.
But we've done some specials here and there, so that's why we're a little ahead of the percentage.
Yeah.
But we're here with the podcast dog, Wally.
Walter has joined us. He's pretty nasty, so he'll just hang out for a minute before he takes off. But, yeah, we're here to answer some questions that we came up with.
Yeah, so we've played 20 questions before on the pod. I think we usually do it when we don't have as much to say about a movie, and it helps us talk about something else. But we're going to do a special episode with just 20 questions. And you know what? We're going to include some of your questions. We are recording this on Facebook Live for all you audio-only listeners out there.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have some audience interaction.
Yeah, and this is a new thing we're trying out, and if it's as fun as it seems like it will be, we'll probably do it again.
Yeah. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
For our live audience, feel free to share throughout the night. Tag people. Make people, watch us. Make them. Don't give them an option.
No choice. Why don't we start with a question from the audience?
Okay.
Here's a question from Lizzie, asking if we do or will we take movie requests to watch.
I'm in favor of movie requests. We've had some friends reach out to us and tell us we should talk about films before. Golden Compass, Paul reached out to us.
Yep.
It was like, that movie's dumb. I would love to talk about it with you guys. And then actually one of my coworkers did keep reminding me that we should talk about Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
And so when that came up, we both were about it, so it was just like a natural fit.
Yeah, so I don't have any problem with it. Even for special episodes, I don't really mind.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure it's a movie we're both interested in watching. That's one of the caveats of what we do is, even though these are terrible movies, we do make a pretty genuine effort to watch something that's at least interesting to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't turn out to be actually interesting, but it feels like it would be going into it.
Yeah.
So.
And there's more questions coming in the chat, but I just want to say, on our 20 questions we've written, we've answered some of your questions already. Boom. How about that? A little teaser.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We could we can always do a short version of an answer if we need to.
Sure.
So,
But let's just jump into it. We got 20 questions here as a way to do a little retrospective of our journey so far. 60% is a big milestone because now we're fresh.
Yep. We're excited about it.
We're very excited. The movies have been getting noticeably better, but even more so now, and now we have that official seal of approval.
Yeah.
So Max, what's our first question?
Our first question is, which movie from the list is most forgettable?
Yeah, so a lot of these movies are kind of duds, and some of them have the benefit of we've watched them recently. So for me, I put Bobby down because I'm not going to remember anything about the plot of Bobby.
Yeah.
But that one's pretty recent, so I kind of have it fresh now. The other one I put down was Hansel and Gretel. I don't remember anything about Hansel and Gretel. Wasn't there a sex scene with an ogre?
It was implied intimacy without an actual sex scene.
Yeah.
There was a sex scene though with Jeremy Renner, which is close.
Damn.
For me, the most forgettable films is The Elephant in the Room, Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
Easily
Deeds
the
is
most forgettable movie I've ever seen.
It's the movie where the least stands out.
Yeah. It's so below average. And then my other one is King Arthur.
Yeah.
Because you guys know I love my medieval stuff, but that's a
that one was a
boring
dud.
movie.
I remember how bad it was, though.
Yeah.
And I remember the cast. There was a good cast. Because that one had sneaky little Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
A sneaky little Joel Edgerton in
But
there.
plot, I honestly don't remember anything in it. It was a snooze.
Yeah, it was a total snoozer. What else was... I think if Mamma Mia weren't so fresh, I wouldn't remember anything about the story.
Yeah. The problem is about the first 10 or 12 movies we watched were pretty boring.
Yeah.
But they're memorable also because they were frustrating.
And because we do this, so we're going to remember them all better. Like, Accidental Love has nothing interesting about it.
Yeah.
Other
True.
than its failure in pre-production.
Yeah. Everything around the film except for the film is more interesting.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. That's one question down.
All right. Let's do our next question.
Ring the bell.
Ding ding.
There you go. We don't have a bell.
I didn't bring a bell.
All right, I'll write that down.
All right. Question number 2. Which movie from the list are you most likely to rewatch?
Why don't you kick it off?
Well, I have 2 answers.
Ooh, double answer.
But I feel pretty positive on both of them. We all kind of came to love Charlie St. Cloud by watching
sure.
it. So definitely, I would give that one another watch. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
And then Basic Instinct, because I really enjoyed that film. So, of course, I would rewatch it. What about you, Scott?
So I put Space Jam down because I feel like it's almost timeless. I did not like Space Jam on the rewatch, but I feel like I'll see it again. But what else? A Knight's Tale, because I had already owned A Knight's Tale on Blu-ray
There you go.
and watched it before. So
A Knight's Tale wasn't too bad. I would probably sit through that one at least one more time.
Yeah.
Shannon Sossaman's hair is still entirely
it's a
frustrating for me in
nightmare.
that movie. So, Bell time. Any
I
more
also put
thoughts?
Man of Steel down
Mm.
because even though I didn't like it that much, it's in the DC cinematic universe. So
So that was the one you'd rewatch it.
I'm more likely to rewatch.
That's fair.
Not
Okay.
out of my own choice, but because it's gonna be important for the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I get you. So, bell time.
Bell time.
Ding ding.
Ring it. Shake
Ding, ding.
shake Walter's collar. Bell.
Oh, Wally Bell. All right. Question number 3.
Yeah.
Which movie was the biggest letdown considering the talent involved? Let you take this one.
A lot of these movies were big letdowns. The two I put down were Aloha, because I love Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper's usually pretty good. Emma Stone's usually a safe bet. There's so much talent there, but it's such a weird, wasteful movie.
Yeah.
And then the second one I put down was Fantastic Four. Stick.
Yeah. Fan Four Stick.
I really love Miles Teller, obviously Michael B. Jordan, and I liked Josh Trank because Chronicle was very good. But that movie's a mess, and I still don't even blame them, and that's why I'm let down. Like, I think the studio had a lot to do with it, but
Check out that episode if you guys want some backstory there. There's a lot to it.
and Miles guested
Miles
on that
Griffin,
episode, and he knows a lot about that movie as well, so it was good to discuss it with him.
That's a good early one too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I agree on those. Aloha for sure was like close to mine. I put down Tomorrowland because by all means it should have been a hit.
Yeah.
And I also put down The Golden Compass because I really
yeah.
loved the source material, and that movie is just a turd.
Yeah, that movie's a real turd.
So.
Tomorrowland, I didn't even think was all that bad. I'm not sure what more they could have done with it when doing the things that movie was going to do with its technology and stuff.
Yeah.
It was weird, though. So
It was just definitely a letdown for me.
Yeah.
It was almost like the more I think about it, the more I'm let down.
Yeah.
So it's like a after the fact letdown.
Well, let's not think about it anymore.
Let's not.
Ring the bell. Ring the Wally bell. I don't even know if that's picking up.
I don't either, but we're ringing Wally's collar, so.
All right, our next question. What is the most memorable song from one of our movies?
Want me to take this one or you?
We're both going to answer, so you lead.
I'll start it off with Take Me, I'll Follow by Bobby Caldwell.
That's the right answer.
That is the theme song from Mac and Me.
It's a total 80s power ballad.
Yeah, it's like a 45-second build-up, and then it just hits you.
I think there's some chimes in it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm really into the chimes.
Chimes are good. I did have a second runner-up, which was that one song from John Q.
Oh yeah, wasn't it a Stevie Wonder song too?
I think it was like Aaron Neville or Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
It might have been Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, it was a song we couldn't find a recorded version of.
Yeah, we looked.
Yeah. I have two more.
What you got?
The Man of Steel Superman theme by Hans Zimmer is
That's
incredible.
a great theme. Yeah.
And we hear it in Justice League, and we will hear it in Justice League. We did hear it in
Spoilers.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
But that's just a really good theme, and I think that song alone did a better job than the movie Man of Steel to build up like Clark and kind of what he stands for in my mind. And then I just put the entire soundtrack of Space Jam because you can't pick one.
That's true.
I Believe I Can Fly,
Yeah.
A Basketball Jones. There's so many.
Yeah, there's like a Quad City DJ song on
Yeah,
there, I think.
isn't there a rap by Donald Duck?
Yeah. And there's like the Monstar rap too.
Yeah, the Monstar theme. Hit 'em high.
Hit 'em high, yeah. That is my jam.
I think that album went like sextuple platinum or something. I can't remember.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly. I had it on cassette.
Yeah. That's the only way to have that album.
Yeah. But those were we've had some good music, I'd say.
Yeah.
What's funny, we don't even pick Mamma Mia, our musical.
Definitely didn't pick Mamma Mia.
Mostly because the music of Mamma Mia was terrible.
Would you put that at the worst songs? Is that one of our questions, or is that just a good follow-up here?
I mean, it's a good follow-up. I mean, it's the worst performed music.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even think of any more. There was a Master of Disguise pop song at the end of it. Who was it even by? I don't remember.
It's like by Vitamin C or something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that great.
No.
Yeah. Cool. Let's wrap that one up. Do you want to maybe go for an audience question?
Oh. Yeah, let's see. Just a couple comments. Lizzie says Mac and Me was her favorite as a kid.
We mentioned that in the episode. I used
Yeah.
to watch it all the time.
We do have a request to have Daniel Withers on the pod.
Sure.
I've talked to him about it before. He is not the one requesting that, but I'm sure he would agree. We also have a comment from Kelsey Brockenshire that Dashboard Confessionals Vindicated should be a best podcast song. I agree, even though it wasn't in one of our movies. It's that good.
We do mention it in the last episode, though, so feel free to
Yeah.
listen to that.
So that's a viewer who's on top of things.
Exactly. Thank you, Kelsey.
I don't actually see any questions in here that we're not going to address.
Okay.
How about that?
So you don't see any questions?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to our
Let's
next
move on.
question.
Max, what's your favorite Rotten movie that we did not choose?
This one, I have a definite answer, and because of how strongly I love this film, I actually said we probably shouldn't watch it.
Yep.
For the slight chance that if you hated it, it would be problematic for us.
Yeah.
And that is Wet Hot American Summer. It is undoubtedly a very dumb movie, but an amazing comedy at the same time, and it's just always been one of my favorites. I love the show they made based off of it, and I've probably watched that film. I mean, there was a point where we watched it weekly, I think. So
Yeah.
it's a classic for me, and I have nothing negative to say about it, so it probably would even be an interesting episode for me.
I just looking at the talent involved, I want to watch. I mean, I haven't seen it still, and I haven't
Yeah.
watched the new show. It was a show, right, on Netflix, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
miniseries,
and
or was it a movie?
It was just a one-season
Okay.
miniseries, and they have another one coming out.
Cool, with all the same talent.
Most of the same talent.
When you
and some
look at
new
the
people,
actors
too.
in it, it's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. So
I have like 7. Some of them are sequels, though, and I realized we never considered sequels. So the sequels I put down: D2, The Mighty Ducks, the best of the Mighty Ducks trilogy.
yeah,
The only problem with that movie is when they take their Team USA jerseys off and put their Mighty Ducks jerseys on in the
yeah.
Goodwill games. I feel like that wouldn't have flown.
that's not patriotic right there.
No. Die Hard with a Vengeance. It might be my favorite Die Hard. I know it's not the best, but I might have liked it the best.
That's fair. You can make an argument for that.
Rocky 4 with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, these are all sequels.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the sequels first, and then I have
okay,
non-sequels.
That's fair.
But the one with Dolph Lundgren's just like the perfect villain. Ivan Drago.
Mm-hmm.
He has some iconic villain lines like, I will break you, and if he dies, he dies.
Isn't it rumored that he might be back for Creed 2?
Oh my God, I hope so.
It's
that would
rumored
be
right now, I
amazing.
think, so
It would be like his son, probably.
probably.
Oh my gosh. That would make me really happy. Old Dolph Lundgren in a
Yeah.
Rocky movie.
I'm down,
What if him and Stallone put the Dukes back up?
dude. The Redukes.
I also have Footloose,
Mm-hmm.
which I know is not good, but I like it. I have a poster of it in my living room.
It's got a great song.
Oh yeah,
It would
It's
have
got a
won the
number of
song
great
battle
songs,
probably. So
for sure.
yeah.
Home Alone, which I
Mhm.
watched again over Christmas with my cousin Nellie,
Cool.
and it's just good.
I like Home Alone. I
It-
can't argue with you. It's a good Christmas film.
It's one of the few movies that can so easily be solved with a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
the movie would be 2 minutes long
Yeah.
if they had cell phones.
The movie probably wouldn't have even happened.
That's true.
So
So good job making it when they did.
what if the modern sequel, the Wet Bandits, they take your bitcoins?
Oh. So you don't have any more credits to call your parents on WhatsApp. I don't know what that is.
We're old.
I also put down The Notebook.
Yeah.
I have a weird soft spot in my heart for Nicholas Sparks movies. My sister and I love watching them. The Notebook is probably one of 5 that I've seen, and it's the best one easily. So I go with that. And plus, Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams is a really good match. They nailed that.
I'm still cold on the Nicky Sparks films. I'm glad I experienced one finally with you guys, but
You only have seen the Lucky One, though.
which is one of the worst ones.
It's
I know.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You need to see, in my opinion, you need to see, and I have a professional opinion on this. You need to see The Notebook. You need to see A Walk to Remember, or you need to see Dear John. Those are my 3 favorites. I even liked the last song, though it's not as good as those 3.
It's Miley Cyrus for you.
and Liam Hemsworth, who might even be the third best Hemsworth now that whatever the third one is in Westworld.
Yeah, like let's say his name's Barry.
Barry Hemsworth, yeah.
He's pretty good. He's pretty solid.
We have a question from the audience.
Cool.
It's an enraged question, but why do we like Kevin Bacon so much?
Why do we like Kevin Bacon so much?
That's from Heather Lanius Rivera.
Cool.
So, Max, you take the lead.
I think for me, he just has a good amount of charm to him.
Yeah.
He's pretty much always charming, even when he's playing a villain. He can play a very villainous character if you've seen movies like Hollow Man or X-Men First Class.
He's great in First Class.
Yeah, he carries a lot of just a lot of gusto in his performances, even though he honestly doesn't differ too much performance to performance. He's always like Kevin Bacon channeling, that Kevin Bacon-ness. But like we just watched Friday the 13th, and he's virtually every Kevin Bacon you've ever seen, just not as refined.
He has no character.
Yeah. So
I think he can play a good, just like straight guy too.
Yeah.
Like in Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh yeah.
He's not really a villain. That's kind of the nice thing about that movie.
Antagonist.
He's barely even an antagonist.
Yeah.
But he's relatable in a sense, and he's just a guy.
Just a guy.
But I don't know. He has kind of a boyish charm to him, even though he definitely has a mature look to him now.
Yeah.
And there's something about Kevin Bacon that just I like it. Keep pumping movies out, Kev.
Do it, Kev.
So Heather, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, hopefully that clears things up there.
Yeah.
All right, let's ring the bell. And then let's see. I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Whoa.
Ask a rando one on this list.
A skipper.
Of the movies you've seen before, which did you change your opinion on most drastically after watching it for the pod?
Number 8.
Number 8.
Space Jam.
Space
Jam? Talked about it a little bit. In my head, it was the perfect movie, but on the rewatch, which we rewatched with Josh Rivera, and it was a blast, but it wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be anymore, and I don't know if that's my age or what. Michael Jordan was horrific. It's probably the worst performance of anybody in any of these movies. And he's not an actor, so
yeah, he's not.
But that and the product placement, really the soundtrack just saved it for me. And now as a big basketball fan, the on-court play was really weak in Space Jam.
They were not following rules. As somebody who barely watches any sports, I was like, wow, that's bad.
This is where you'd say the refs were letting them play.
Yeah. That's what we would say. I would say for me, right off the bat, I remember Judge Dredd being like awful and dumb. And when we watched it, it's still dumb.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not really that awful. It's kind of a really fun film to watch.
It was fine.
So my opinion went from it being like I don't want to watch Judge Dredd to, I mean, like before Judge Dredd, our last Stallone movie was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah.
Which is pure garbage.
Yeah.
And then going into it, I was a little apprehensive just because like I don't remember it being great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of great, but still dumb.
Having not seen it, I kind of loved it.
Yeah.
It was exactly as cheesy as I wanted it to be.
And then I also got to say The Mummy. My opinion just changed because I didn't realize it was like really whitewashed when I first watched it. And so when you pointed out that like everybody was actually European, I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
They're all doing brownface. Wow.
I also thought the Jew slave comment was interesting. It's historically accurate, but it's weird to see in a family adventure movie.
Yeah, that's that late 90s for you. You still had some leeway on the weird stuff you could say.
So are you saying that stuff made The Mummy go down in your eyes?
Not so much like decrease the quality of the storytelling, but it just made it more of an uncomfortable viewing for me.
Yeah. Once it's pretty uncomfortable.
Like, who would have thought Arnold de Vosloo was, Dutch?
Yeah.
With a name like Arnold de Vosloo.
I can't think of many that I had seen before that my second viewing improved, but that's because a lot of these movies I hadn't seen even once before. So.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Maybe like, some of them you endured, like you still loved them.
Yeah.
Like Joe Dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Oh, yeah.
So, some of them
Actually,
worked.
I was like reaffirmed on Charlie St. Cloud because I liked it, but I thought it was total garbo.
Yeah.
And then on revisiting it, I was like, no, this movie's still great.
Okay.
Do you want to go to the audience?
Yeah, let's do an audience question.
Let's see. How about from Sarah Tennant, former guest
Sure.
of the pod,
Former guest.
multi-guest.
Multi-guest.
And Sarah actually references something that we can talk about. We've mentioned it before, but Sarah asks, if you could pick one actor or actress from the Pantheon to guest host, who would it be and what movie of theirs would they discuss? And for those who don't know, the Pantheon just means you've been in multiple of our movies.
Yeah.
There was one point where I was tracking it, but that was around like 20%. And now there's just a lot of people on it.
Yeah.
The king of the Pantheon is Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Because around the 18 or 19% point, we had watched like 6 Kevin Durant movies somehow. And he would probably be my number one guest.
Yeah. Really? Yeah, I would go with that.
Well, partially because he was in Lost. I love Lost, so I could talk with him about that. But he's also the highlight of all the crappy movies we watched. So.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to talk about his role in The Butterfly Effect, where he's convinced that Ashton Kutcher's Jesus. Because that's good acting.
That's true. Yeah.
What about you?
Kevin Durant's definitely the good choice there.
Yeah.
I'll go with one of our second runners-up for most guest appearances, which is, I think, Mr. Harvey Keitel. Wasn't he on a bunch?
I feel like he's been a couple. He's a national treasure. What else? I know Ray Liotta's been
Ray
in
Liotta. Let's go with
5.
Ray Liotta. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Ray Liotta. That's who I want.
I'm afraid that Ray Liotta's crazy eyes would just put me in a trance, though.
I would definitely have him on a Facebook Live event for the Crazy Eyes. And
What-
I'd want him to freak out about something, too.
So I would need to say something to trigger Ray
Yeah.
Liotta.
You'd have to trigger Ray Liotta for this to work. So
What about we could watch Goodfellas with him when we get that high.
that's a plan.
So
Liotta, if you're
Ray.
listening,
love to have you on the pod.
love to have you in the pod. Good question.
Great question.
All right. Question number 7.
Question 7.
If you had a $100 million budget, which of these movies would you want to remake?
So I put 2, but one of mine I have a caveat. I want to make a sequel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one, I have League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
Like Tom Sawyer, like all these literary characters. I think you'd try it again, roll out a better plot.
Yeah, that's true.
But then the one I want a sequel to, and we talked about the sequel that was proposed on the air, is Twins.
I have one answer on mine, and that is Twins.
Do you want to do a remake or the sequel Triplets with Eddie Murphy?
The sequel Triplets is definitely tempting. Would definitely be worth it if you just went kind of balls to the wall with it. But reboot would also work too.
Who would you reboot? Because I feel like Schwarzenegger DeVito is iconic.
Yeah, I feel like now, if they wanted to do it the same way, they would either get like Channing Tatum or The Rock as your Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And then you could do anybody for the DeVito. You could do anything from like Jonah Hill to Michael Cera, just any of the dweeby guys out there.
The Rock and Michael Cera would be good.
Yeah, that would be a funny match right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could take it multiple ways. Even then, they should do triplets if they did a reboot.
Yeah.
I don't know, bring in like Kevin Hart. So
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, The Rock and Kevin Hart, they've done so much together now. So you can maybe
What
switch
about
it up.
Hannibal Buress?
Even better.
Yeah.
So
You
his non-reactions would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I'm glad we agree on Twins.
Twins is such a stupid concept that it works perfectly for
Yeah.
a dumb comedy.
And you just got to make sure that your leads have chemistry.
Yeah.
While that movie wasn't phenomenal, there was some decent chemistry between DeVito and Schwarzenegger. So.
Yeah, and their playing off of one another was just really, it created a lot of natural humor.
Yeah.
And there's such extremes of the body spectrum that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
But like even your Sarah and The Rock one, that's not as extreme a difference.
Yeah.
But you'd still have enough there, I think.
It is, though.
Yeah. it is still pretty extreme.
The height, I mean, yeah, Michael Cera's not a short guy. He's not tall. He's not short.
Sarah recommends John Cena for Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that could be good, too.
He's kind of been coming back in more movies because I saw him in Trainwreck and he was very funny, but it's a very minor role.
Yeah.
But I think he's like the lead actor in a movie coming out. I can't remember 100%, but yeah.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Twins.
The
remake, the reboot.
And you know what? If he's doing Twins, I'll do Alex G.
Alex G. I think Universal just tried that and they failed at it.
Sort of. No Tom Sawyer. No Captain Ahab. Though even the first one didn't. I just kept saying that.
Okay.
Where are we going now? Hit me with a number.
Hit you with a number?
Yeah.
What about number 13?
Number 13. If you could swap the casts of any two films we watched, what would they be?
You want to take this one?
You lead. I'll
All right.
follow.
Mine's pretty simple. Aloha and Joe Dirt.
Can Emma Stone be Joe Dirt?
That'd be awesome. I'd
She
watch
could be
that.
like Joy Dirt.
Yeah, Joey Dirt.
And then is David Spade, what was Bradley Cooper's character name? I forget. He was the guy everyone liked.
Yeah.
Is David Spade the lead then?
Yeah. David Spade would be the lead.
Christopher Walken plays your Bill Murray character.
It's already a better film.
Adam Beach plays Alec Baldwin's character. I like it.
Yeah.
I have an interesting one here, I think.
I hope so.
I have Bobby and Getaway.
Okay.
Because Getaway was a movie that basically had three characters. Bobby's ensemble is 40 actors and actresses deep.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that would be possible. Maybe they're getting away in like a cargo van or something, so there's a bunch of people in it. And then your version of Bobby would basically be a Selena Gomez, Ethan Hawke 2-person show.
Would they be acting all the parts out, or
Yeah,
is it
no,
just their story?
it's a shot-for-shot remake.
Okay, I could get behind that. That's strange.
And then
That-
I get Christian Slater in Getaway.
Do
I
you
don't
like,
know why, but I want that.
What was it, Harry Belafonte talking to
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins? Those scenes would be strange.
With Selena Gomez and Ethan Hawke.
But you'd also have John Voight.
Yeah.
Like extreme close-ups of him throughout the
Was
movie.
he in both?
John Voight? No, is he in both? I know for sure he's in Getaway.
Oh, he's in Getaway.
So, tomatoes, eating
Tomatoes. He's eating olives.
olives. I thought it was cherry tomatoes.
Tomatoes would be a good meta thing for him to be eating.
That's true, yeah.
I put another one down, National Treasure and Master of Disguise, just because I'd love to see Nick Cage do all the impressions.
God.
It'd be Garbo.
The spaghetti scene, that would be, yeah.
I don't even remember the spaghetti scene, and I don't want to.
Hey, listeners,
Oh.
if you guys have not shared this, feel free to share this this Facebook live stream. Get some of your friends and strangers to join in,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and how about this? Since we got more people here, we're going to do a little giveaway.
We'll give away.
Everyone who's tuned in live, so you're already entered.
Yeah.
Welcome. But we get a little Blu-ray coming your way.
The key is to comment, though.
Oh, you have to comment?
Yeah.
Get involved.
Ask a question. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
If you hate Master of Disguise, make that very clear in the comments.
Yeah. Put a thumbs up in chat if you hate Master of Disguise.
Yeah, thumbs up. Master of Disguise. That doesn't make sense.
No, but I just
do
wanted
it.
to see if the sheeple will listen.
Yeah. So
We do have another question in here from, and I think I pronounced her name wrong before. It's Kelsey Brockenshire.
yeah, you can just call her Brock.
Who is your favorite actor that played Spider-Man?
That's a good question. It's a very good question.
Holland's so fresh, it's hard to pick him.
Yeah. But he's done 2 films now.
Yeah, it's hard to count the first one, but he has.
Yeah.
And it does count.
I think honestly Holland gets the truest performance.
Sure.
I really liked Andrew Garfield in the first one he did.
Yeah.
I really liked that performance. I will say, as much as I do love the original ones, I think Toby has the weakest performance.
Watch out. Them's fighting words.
I'm fighting words. I mean, he started it out, so I give props for that, you know? But he didn't seem as in-depth of a character as I would have liked.
That's spoken like a man who hasn't seen Spider-Man 2 in a decade. Watch Spider-Man 2 again, and you'll be Team Toby. I'm Team Toby. Though I have to be, I loved Tom Holland. I thought he was perfect.
Yeah.
And he's actually a high schooler, so he gets props for that.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield, I didn't mind him at all. I think that's the one thing all the Spider-Man movies has is an actual good Peter Parker, which is kind of surprising when they've rebooted it 3 times already. But I did not like Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the rewatch for the first one. So, but I'm Team Toby all the way.
I'm just going to point out that Josh has a good comment. It's a non-movie Spider-Man, which is Christopher Daniel Barnes from the animated series of Spider-Man.
Sure.
He was a great Spider-Man, and he doesn't get enough credit for it. He just voiced him, but he was definitely like kind of the first a lot of people knew. So.
All right. It's a wild card answer.
Wild card.
How about we go back to one of our questions?
Yeah, sure. Which one? You pick.
Well, I didn't write the questions down on my
Okay.
sheet.
Well, give me a number.
How about 11?
11.
Oh.
What was the hardest episode to record?
A little meta question.
Yeah. You want to do this one?
Yeah. So I said the first one was Mac and Me. Not because Mac and Me was hard to discuss,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to hear your own voice
Yeah.
in these things. Like, this is very uncomfortable for me because it's kind of like it's new still. So now it adds the physical component.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to it already, but the first time I had to listen to our voices, particularly mine, I almost cringed.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's just, it's yourself, and it feels really weird and personal.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That was pretty hard. I was pretty jazzed on it at the time, so I was ready for it.
yeah,
What was frustrating for me when we started was definitely hearing us not at the sound quality I wanted us to be at.
yeah, because you're
And-
our engineer.
And it took us about like 20 episodes to get near where I wasn't cringing just listening to our own stuff.
And part of that is because when we first started, we were in my dining room, 2 feet away from the AC vent for the entire building.
One microphone.
One microphone
Yeah.
that we were sharing. I mean, it was a huge room because the dining room and living room are connected. Now we have a legitimate studio, as everyone can see now.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own microphones. We got these fancy little, muffin tops, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
we
them.
got muffin tops in the show now.
We're a more legitimate operation now, and it does make it a lot better.
So I wrote down a few answers here because I could think of a couple instances that were
Sure.
tough. The first one for sure, but I think the second one was harder, which was Master of Disguise, because you almost quit the podcast rather than talk about it. I think I had to convince you to go get food. I think we had burgers and beers,
Yeah, we did.
and then I finally convinced you to come back and record.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me sound like a quitter, but I don't know that everyone here has watched Master of Disguise
Yeah.
lately.
Don't.
It's abrasively bad.
Yeah.
And I was not jazzed at that point.
So I see some eye rolling in the chat. The next one I said was, and we've briefly touched on it, the Deeds episode.
Yeah.
We both watched it. We both were underwhelmed with the film. We texted each other.
Understatement of the century.
We texted each other for like 2 days. I don't know what to talk about. There's literally nothing interesting. So building up to it was really, really hard. We were both kind of defeated. On the way over, Scott got stuck in traffic and then called me and said, why don't we just talk about a different movie that came out? I was like, sure, yeah. And then he looked at some lists, and that's when we discovered The Bourne Identity was in theaters. So
Yeah.
that was a way better choice.
I just looked at what else was in theaters. And this kind of touches on question, what number is that? Number 10 on our list was what we really think of Mr. Deeds. The reason Mr. Deeds isn't worth talking about is because not only is it just bad and uninteresting, but it's uninteresting. It doesn't do anything even interestingly bad.
Yeah, it just dials most of it in.
Yeah.
So it's after Sandler's golden age, and
Yeah.
it should have been easy money. And I guess it was.
It
kinda
was. It
easy
made money.
Yeah, but it should have been easy money to make something worthwhile for them
Yeah.
still. I mean, you could do like another Big Daddy type of thing. But this is kind of the beginning after like Little Nicky was just complete garbage. This is kind of the beginning of just that Sandler dialing it in.
Yeah.
And he's done like maybe 2 substantial films since then.
He did Funny People.
Funny
he
People.
did Rain Over Me, I think it was
Yeah.
called. Or Rain On Me, I can't remember.
And then apparently he has something out now that's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, so he has a new movie coming out called The Meyerowitz Stories, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's directed by Noah Baumbach,
Yeah.
and it got a lot of buzz at Cannes Film Festival. Am I pronouncing that right? Cannes
The Con.
Film Festival?
Cannes.
Cannes?
Cannes. The Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, and it got a lot of buzz, and there's light talk already about Sandler getting some Oscar consideration for his performance. So, but the key with those films, all the films I just mentioned, Adam Sandler has nothing to do with the direction or production.
Yeah.
It's someone else doing all of them. So that's pretty big. It's not like true Happy Madison. Punch Drunk Love, which I believe that's Paul Thomas Anderson, but a lot of people really love that movie. And it's Adam
True.
Sandler again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So take the controls, and he does better.
yeah. But you kind of have to, I kind of give him some props because even when he's interviewed, they're like, why do you do these movies? And he's like, I go to a cool place with my friends
Yeah.
and I film a movie.
Basically, him and David Spade eat hot dogs on the beach for a week, and then the movie's made.
I mean, let's be real. I'd love to eat hot
Yeah.
dogs on the beach with David Spade.
Yeah, that's kind of our goal here.
The Spade Beach goals.
Spade Beach goals.
Did you have anything else on our Tough to Watch?
I did say Suicide Squad was a hard episode for us to record, just
Yeah.
because we both had diverse but almost similar opinions at the same time on certain aspects, and our final opinion was different. So
Yeah, I think we agreed on a lot of the filmmaking things, but
Yeah.
you were a little more optimistic and I was
Yeah.
more pessimistic.
I thought it was a dumb movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we had watched a lot of dumb movies, and for me, that kind of made it more enjoyable
Yeah.
and understandable. You didn't like it, and that is
Yeah.
completely
I was
fine.
aggressively let down by it. So
But,
I remember that. I think that's the only time we've actually gotten heated on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah.
I remember we had to step away from the mics.
But that's good, man. That's
And
what
we're still
makes-
here.
Yeah, we're still here. It makes the things interesting.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people were heated in their discussions on
Yeah.
these kind of
It's probably the most
Yeah.
divisive film of 2016
yeah.
because I feel like fans really loved it.
Yeah.
It was portrayals of characters they probably weren't going to see anywhere else.
They did it for the fans.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into that. All right, so let's go to our next question.
Okay.
You pick,
I'll pick.
because I'm going to do a little water.
Okay. Are there any movies, and this is fair because we keep bringing it up, are there any movies, of all the movies you know of, that you would choose to watch over Master of Disguise? Like that you would choose Master of Disguise to watch over, I mean.
Yeah.
So.
I wrote down initially, no, it's the worst. But I thought of one on the way over here.
What's that?
It's a movie that I watched 20 minutes of and then vomited and left the people's house I was watching it. The Human Centipede.
Okay.
It's made for its torture porn, I guess, is kind of the subgenre.
Yeah.
It's made to be a spectacle.
Mhm.
It has no film quality in my eyes. I would never watch it again.
Do you think it has any value as a statement on First Amendment free speech?
Sure. I don't.
That's fair.
I mean-
I watched 10 minutes of it and got bored and left the room.
I don't think that statement needed to be made. Is
Yeah.
like I get it. You can do that. Good work.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it though, because it's a challenge.
I thought of my only answer that I would if you held two DVDs at me and one was Master of Disguise and one was Baby Geniuses or any baby themed movie where the babies are the main characters, with the exception of like Rugrats.
What about Baby Driver?
He's not an actual baby though. He's a baby.
That's right.
But no. So anything like that, like Baby Geniuses, I'm out.
What about Look Who's Talking?
I have not seen those since.
What about Look Who's Talking 2?
I have not seen those since I was a kid, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch
I get
them.
that.
Maybe in that scenario, I might lean Look Who's Talking.
So if Look Who's Talking, which is kind of a mystery to you, was up there against Master of Disguise, you think you'd pick Master of Disguise just because of the concept of talking babies?
Well, see, but there's also like normal people in that movie.
That's true.
When it's baby centric.
There's no normal people in Master of Disguise.
Yeah, that's true. But baby centric films, I'm just out on, man. Baby
Yeah.
Geniuses 2, Super Babies. I think that's one of our other 0%ers we skipped.
The sequel to Baby Geniuses was a 0, and
Yeah.
Baby Geniuses was a 1.
Yeah, which is how it should be, I guess.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
guess. Well, I guess you'd want them to improve from their 1%.
Yeah.
We got any more questions from the audience, Max?
Yeah, we have one from Kara Leonard.
Okay. Hey, that's Kara. Let's give Kara a shout out.
Yeah.
5-time guest on the podcast.
She's our Tom Hanks or Alec Baldwin?
She's our Tom Hanks or Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. So she asks, have you ever started a pod session, you weren't feeling it, and you started over? I don't think we've done that.
I think once we get to the point where we're recording, it's
Yeah.
enough set up that we just roll through it.
Sometimes it takes us longer to get to it. When we started the show, we would play AC/DC's, what was it, Shook You All Night Long?
Yep.
We would start with that every
That
single
got
time.
us pumped.
Yeah, and we really needed it. We needed AC/DC to just, tell us
Yep.
that it's happening.
Yeah.
And now we've had some different pump up songs. We've done Chance the Rapper recently.
Yeah. Good ass
So,
intro by Chance the Rapper's one that gets me there.
Get Scott going.
We had a good Matchbox 20 phase, probably
Yeah.
10 straight weeks where we'd listen to Matchbox 20 to get pumped.
You got to end on the right song though, because you can end on a downer.
Yeah,
So.
and you got to be careful.
Yeah. But I think for the most part we've stuck to that route.
I think
Get ourselves pumped up beforehand. Sometimes we watch trailers.
Yeah, we watch some trailers and stuff, get us in the mindset. The one I can think of was TMNT. I remember we got to the point where we were done talking about the plot, and I think the episode was only like 35 minutes long or something.
Yeah.
So we had to what do they call that? Riff?
Yeah.
Stretch
just
the time.
Come up with some stuff. So.
But that's not even TMNT's fault, really. It was
Yeah.
just, that's all we had to say.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes a movie's just that meh.
But
You know?
yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
So if we hadn't switched to Born Identity, the Deeds episode would have been
Oh,
20
boy.
minutes at best.
Yeah, and it would have just been us going like, man, that part wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't
So,
funny.
It's just
I would have gone, it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
50 times.
Yeah. There was one funny part in that film, and it
Which
was at
one?
the end. Steve Buscemi did
when he
something
crashes
dumb.
the Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember, because it haunts my nightmares, I laughed once during Master of Disguise. I remember the scene vividly. He was pretending to be Abraham Lincoln making a speech, and it ended with a jock jam and him, I think, moonwalking off the stage. Pathetic, Scott.
Yeah, I remember I stared at you very angry when you laughed at Master of Disguise.
I think then we paused it, thinking we were halfway through, and we were like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Ugh. We already answered that question, though.
True.
You got it? Is there more?
Lizzie asks us, she says, follow up to Kara's question, have you ever picked a movie and then changed your mind and picked a different one?
Actually, yeah, we do that sort of frequently.
Yeah.
So before we started in like the month of March, I spent a lot of time not at work.
At home only.
At home only, compiling a list of movies, and I'd go through every percent and pick anything that seemed interesting. So no like indie movies that no one's ever heard of, only wide releases for the most part, unless it's like a special exception. And then that's how we picked our movies. We found out about 10% of the way in that the website I was using was not necessarily accurate on its percentages. So we had to check every time to make sure it's in line. Now we just go to the Rotten Tomatoes site. For every week, we pick from that instead of that list I spent a lot of hours at home working on. But there was, right when we were going to watch The Lazarus Effect, rated 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, we found out it's actually rated 14%. So we had to switch to Winter's Tale.
And I'm glad we made that choice.
I wasn't even mad because I wanted to watch Winter's Tale.
Yeah. So.
There's been a couple other times where we think we're like, oh, it's going to be one of these two. And then we look again and there's a movie that's on that list that we really do want to watch.
That we somehow missed.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of times where it's almost like a negotiation between us. Like, I'll just give everyone a little forward look here. We were picking our first Fresh movies. And I think it was like 67 and 68%. We had a few toss-ups. And I was like, I love Swiss Army Man, and I would love if you watched it. And you're like, I'm not that into it, but I want to watch Conan at 67%. And so we agreed, we'll do Swiss Army Man and we'll do Conan, or we'll do these other ones. So it's kind of a give and take, but
you gotta barter sometimes.
We just have to watch things that are interesting to talk about. I think that's the key. And sometimes we watch something. There have been movies I've watched and then realized that the discussion's not going to be that interesting.
Yeah.
Like King Arthur, I knew that it wasn't going to be that interesting.
I think we made that one pretty good, though.
Yeah, but I think we spent the whole second half of the episode talking about Split.
Oh,
I think. We talked about something else for this. No, we talked about Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
We spent 20 minutes talking about that lovely movie, but so we found a way to make it work.
That's kind of the key with these is we aim to find movies we can actually talk about. I mean, there's no other way to do this.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Hey, Scott.
Yep.
Do bees lie?
Do bees lie? This is the philosophical question that Jupiter Sending brought up. I want you to answer first, though.
Bees don't lie. Bees can't lie. Bees never lie.
I disagree, my friend.
Explain.
I did some research about bees.
All right.
I wanted to see if bees lie. I thought maybe they would invade other hives and pretend to be part of that hive. You know, be like, hey, guys, I'm part of Alpha Hive. You know, and just stay around here. And then everyone else will be like, he doesn't even go here.
Alpha High, my favorite high school.
I thought there'd be something like some trickery.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is there
Maybe
bee
it-
trickery?
There's not recorded bee trickery yet, but I did find out that bees have the densest brains of any insect. They're incredibly smart creatures.
Ooh.
They're able to count to 4. I honestly didn't look up how they figured that out, but there are multiple studies citing that they can count to 4. And that doesn't sound that impressive,
Yeah.
but for an insect, I think it is considered very impressive.
Yeah.
It's also recorded that bees are pessimistic and get sad when talked to sternly.
Okay. Maybe that's why they're stinging people.
The fact that they are pessimistic shows that they have this like greater ability to perceive things.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, they could lie.
Well, I have something that might back up your theory here.
Sure.
Sean Bean lied in Jupiter Ascending, and he was part bee.
Boom.
So I think you're onto something.
I think I am. And I think I researched it too much. At home,
Only at home.
according to, this is from Sarah Tennant, sister of the host and former guest. She says, according to our Aunt Minda, bees can smell fear. So,
That doesn't clear up if they lie, but thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Aunt Minda.
Aunt Minda, love to have you on the pod. I actually would. I love my Aunt Minda. She's a really good person.
Really good person. Another question from the audience was, what are the top 3 quintessential Critical Breakdown episodes?
Okay, so quintessential, that would be like
Like
if
you
we're
have
giving
to
someone the
listen.
binder,
Yeah.
they're like the keys.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to start with Mac and Me almost, or Master of Disguise, one of those two.
One of those two for sure.
But then I don't want to spend any time on those early episodes because they sound crappier.
Yeah.
So give me, I think Charlie St. Cloud was a really good episode. I thought Dune was a really good episode, both with
With
Taylor as a guest.
Um,
Shout out.
I also love our Dungeons and Dragons episode.
Yeah, with Paul.
That was with Paul, our first Paul one, and we, even though it was a bad movie, we just had a joyous time talking about it.
Yeah.
So I would definitely throw that in the mix.
I think the best episode we've ever done was with 4 special guests.
We weren't on it.
Our Sex in the City episode had Kara, Sarah, Julia Vickerman, and she calls herself the silent partner of the podcast, but your wife, Jody, all talking Sex in the City. And that episode is amazing. I've
Yeah.
listened to it like 5 times.
It's better than any content we've made ourselves. I'm just glad we produced it.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun to
Yeah.
watch them record it too.
Yeah.
The way we did it, this studio can't seat 6 people very comfortably. So I Skyped in. Julia does she live in California? She's
Yeah.
West Coast.
Yeah.
So she Skyped in. So we had a bunch of people on Skype and a bunch of people here. Sarah was lovely enough to drive to Charlotte for the episode. It was just a really good episode. The discussion was amazing.
Yeah.
We would not have talked about the things of that movie the same way.
They brought nuance and just so much meaning to the discussion about a movie that
Yeah.
that was my second time watching it, and I felt very angry having to go through it again. But then I felt delighted afterwards that I got to hear
Yeah.
their discussion live, edit their discussion, and then listen to it multiple times after because I just had so much
Yeah.
fun listening to it.
That would definitely be a quintessential episode.
Yeah, for sure.
I might even put The Mummy up there. That's a very recent one, and we got off track a lot. And sometimes it's really fun to me when we get off track. I remember in that episode we talked about Jack Ryan and all the actors who played Jack
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So
We had a discussion on what makes people tall.
yeah. And we realized it's perspective.
It is. It's height and perspective. So.
Yeah, and height. Height makes people tall.
yeah. Yeah. So.
Man, what I said sounded really deep. What makes people tall? Perspective.
And I said height.
But great question, actually.
Yeah,
That's
really
a real
good question.
thinker.
A little thinking question there.
What else we got on this list?
How about this? Have you learned anything about filmmaking or film theory from watching a lot of bad movies?
Yeah.
What have you learned?
There are things I just took for granted in movies because when I used to watch not that many movies. I would watch a few movies a year. I wouldn't even go see that many new releases. So the movies I watched on average were very good.
Mm-hmm.
And things like framing, sound mixing,
Editing.
choreography, and like the action, I just took them for granted because watching these crappy movies, they fail on those basic things that like Mamma Mia, for an example.
God.
There were scenes where people would be talking and standing next to someone who's in the camera and they're not in the camera.
Yeah.
And it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And the green screen was so obvious.
Oh, it was bad.
The Mummy had terrible fight choreography. I think we said it looked like Brendan Fraser was the Star Wars kid.
Yeah.
And it's...
I mean, there's even things like a movie that's decently constructed. You can just watch it and tell that it's the writing for the plot is there.
Yeah.
But writing's such a big example of what makes a movie good.
Mm-hmm.
So something like Butterfly Effect has a very tightly constructed narrative.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the
pacing
most
is
part,
good.
Yeah, the pacing's good.
Yeah.
For the most part, the visual aspect of it isn't too bad. There's some cheesy things from the time period. But since there's no characters written for the movie, all that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's films we watch where the sound mixing is so off that it doesn't matter. I can't remember which one specifically.
I want to say Judge Dredd for some reason had like the dialogue will be too quiet or the music will be too loud, and
there was one
Takers maybe.
For sure, it might have been Takers.
Yeah, Takers was really bad.
That actually is our winner for the most forgettable film because I just remembered we watched Takers.
That had John Darling as the guest.
Yeah,
John, if you're watching,
Takers is a good episode. We talked way too long about such a stupid movie.
Dude, the best part about Takers is I watched Heat to prepare. John and I watched Heat to prepare, and Heat fucking rules. Heat's amazing.
My favorite thing about Takers is all of our T.I. impressions we did afterwards.
Yeah, why did we do T.I. impressions?
Because he's in it.
My favorite thing about Takers is Hayden Christensen's fedora.
That was good, too. That was good. Before we continue, anyone who's joined us recently, just please share this. Leave comments.
Not in like a please share, but like please share.
No, I'm begging. I'm here begging.
Shit.
Share it multiple times. You shared it at 8, share it at 9.
Boom.
But yeah, and if you comment, leave questions, you can get entered into a contest we're running where you can win a prize.
Yeah, it's a Blu-ray copy of a movie.
Yeah,
it's a big prize.
Big prize.
Let's do another question.
Another question or an audience question?
Let's do another one of ours.
Okay,
because I'm selfish.
That's fair.
What about number 9?
Number 9. Which is the worst on-screen couple or pair in one of the movies we watched? I'll let you start this one.
I got 2, but one of them I think is a definite answer. It's Lily Collins and Jamie Campbell Bower in The Mortal Instruments City of Bones.
Yeah.
A truly pathetic couple.
Yeah, the problem there is Lily Collins is extremely attractive, and Jamie, whatever his name is, he looks like... I'm trying to think of a good example. You know those little aliens or little monsters you would soak in water and they would grow huge overnight?
I believe a shrinky dink?
No, not a shrinky dink, but the opposite. Where it's like already shrunk. Those freeze dried monsters.
A dinky shrink.
He looks like one that's been hydrated for maybe like 10 minutes. Not even like enough to grow full size.
Yeah.
He just looks disgusting.
He looks like a methy version of Ellen DeGeneres to me.
Yeah.
Which is very insulting to him, and I'm sorry. Sort of. But that movie sucked really bad, and that relationship was so unnatural and very painful to watch. I'll always remember their kiss, too, at the top of that spiral staircase that led to nothing. And I want to say an Evanescence song started playing.
Of course an Evanescence song played.
Yeah, so.
He kind of looked like if Toni Collette was playing in like somebody with a disease. So...
Like if Toni Collette was in like a movie about the origin of AIDS.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you got?
What do I got? Mine's pretty easy. I have Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, because that was Sylvester Stallone, and I'm trying to look up her name right now. And Estelle Getty. How could I forget? So it's Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty as mother and son.
Yeah.
So I went with just the on-screen pair, not like a romantic
not a couple,
pair, but like an acting pair here. Yeah. And the problem is Stallone's a very Italian actor. He's probably the quintessential Italian actor. And Estelle Getty's playing basically your Jewish mother. But there's no mixture there. There's no chemistry between them.
No.
She just says weird stuff the whole time.
The entire movie.
And it's just weird and awkward.
She also gets like the kill moment at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's right.
No.
You know? And what did she say? What was her line? Your ass is grass and I'm the lawnmower.
She said that, and she also said like Mama's home or something.
Yeah, something stupid.
She had like 4 one-liners towards the end, and they were all dumb.
And in a buddy cop movie, the one-liners are critical.
And the chemistry is critical.
And this had neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. So my phone went on a little power off. But right before it died, I saw a request to answer a question. And it's actually a question I was going to ask you, even though it's not on our list. Daniel asked what our favorite song that we've closed an episode with is.
I have
so
my
great
answer.
question. I have my answer, and I think it's the same.
I actually don't think it is. It might be. But I don't want to make that claim because I'm going to throw it at you right now.
Throw it.
We ended the Golden Compass episode with Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill.
You're right. We're not thinking of the same one.
And I love that song. So that was my answer. But I go ahead. I want to hear yours.
Mine, I have two, actually. But the number one is Long December by Counting Crows.
Yeah.
Mostly because I discovered how much I love that song from this. I'm not sure I'd ever heard it, and it's amazing. And we did karaoke of that song, and it's a big win.
We did, yeah.
The other one I'll do is the Tron Legacy episode. We ended with Digital Love by Daft Punk,
Yeah.
which is a great song. But the moment we did, I had that moment in mind while watching the movie, and you edited in like perfect because it's a total banger at the end with the synth pumping, and it's incredible. And that movie I actually kind of liked. So it's always nice when you can end it with a good banger.
Yeah. There's a lot of good songs that we've chosen and a lot of dumb songs, too.
Yeah, and usually the dumb ones are like the low-hanging fruit. It's like easy to pick it,
Yeah.
and you still got to pick it, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Like, we ended Mamma Mia with an ABBA song.
I mean, what
We
else
had
are you
to.
going to do?
Yeah.
Had to.
Had to.
So,
Oy.
all right. Let's get to the big questions. The meat.
Okay.
The meats. Who is Miss Breakdown?
Miss Breakdown.
That's our pageant queen of the Critical Breakdown.
What you got any nominees in mind?
Oh, I need nominees now.
Well,
All right, no, I'll come up with 4 nominees.
okay.
Diane Lane.
Mhm.
Rachel Weisz. Kelly Preston.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or
Estelle Getty.
Estelle Getty. Those are your nominees. Max, who's the winner of Miss Breakdown?
Well, I got a little mini question.
Okay.
By Miss Breakdown, does that mean like the most influential presence, or just kind of who we?
Who represents the rotten portion of the podcast best?
Okay. Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston. That's
for
the
sure.
win. It's
Just
easy.
hands down. But the thing is, we say that, but in Twins, she blew our minds away.
She was
of
incredible.
how attractive she was.
You don't have to be the epitome of bad to be
No.
the representative of a
But
rotten half, you know?
My follow-up there was she was in Battlefield Earth, which we have not mentioned yet.
Yeah.
And she was very bad in that. 'Cause
Yeah.
everyone
Well,
was very bad
hers
in
is
that.
like a cameo
Yeah.
in Battlefield Earth. Not trying to like defend her or Battlefield Earth, but
She has a lizard tongue and she licks John Travolta. It was weird.
yeah. Which they also do in real life.
Yeah, so that's true.
I think the only qualification maybe is that you have to be a Pantheon member.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she is.
That's true. Yeah.
Diane Lane, I think, would have been a good choice too. But
She's
Kelly
a
Preston's the
solid
right choice.
Yeah. What about for Mr. Breakdown?
Mr. Breakdown. All right. So, thank you, Wally. Our nominees: Nicolas Cage.
Come on, Walter. You're getting crazy.
Good luck editing that.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. How about Kevin Durand,
Kevin Durand, Dana Carvey,
Dana Carvey, Ray Liotta,
and a Ray Liotta.
I got one more nominee though.
One more.
No. I don't actually know if that did anything. Jon Voight.
Jon Voight. Okay.
You can edit it in.
I can edit
That's
it
the
in.
beauty of the
You guys didn't
podcast
hear that.
format.
I'll edit it in.
Who's your choice?
That's tough because Kevin Durand, as we mentioned, has been kind of boss on our show
Yeah,
for a while.
the once and future king.
But I could hear an argument for John Voight also.
John Voight also has Varsity Blues.
Yeah, and he's pretty
He
weird.
kind
in
of
that movie.
owns Varsity
Yeah.
Blues, and he's a National Treasure. No, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
There's a strong Voight argument.
I might be leaning John Voight.
I
now.
feel like Kevin Durand and Kelly Preston's a better pair, though.
Yeah.
You know who we forgot from Miss Breakdown? Virginia Madsen
She did have
Who
a double dip.
liked our post on Instagram,
Ooh,
too.
should we change it?
No.
Okay.
But
Next time, Virginia. We'll get
Virginia,
you
you're
next
getting a
time.
shout out because you're probably
Yeah.
listening.
I assume so.
I say Mr. Breakdown. I think we should go John Voight.
Oh my god.
He's an
John
icon.
Voight. Let's do it.
Oh, man. Kevin Durand, that's an upset, I feel like. I feel
That
like
was.
if you were to put the betting odds out there beforehand, Kevin Durand would have been the odds-on favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
You
yeah.
sold me on Voight, though.
You sold me on Voight. I said I could hear the argument, and then you argued it.
Well, I'm very convincing.
Yeah, true.
I didn't even have nominees listed. I just had a winner, and it was Kevin Durand.
This is our Moonlight moment.
Oh, with the envelopes. I get
Yeah,
it. I was
it's our
thinking of the
envelopes.
plot of Moonlight, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't think it is.
We should just start kissing.
Only off camera.
Only off camera.
All right, so I think this will be our last question of the night, and I think it's the most important one
Yeah.
of the rotten portion of our countdown. What movie do we recommend most highly to a friend? To our viewers, what movie do we most highly recommend? Most of them I don't think we can recommend, but Max, what is your number one recommendation?
My number one recommendation here is easy. There's a second runner-up, but I had an easy first choice, Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct's my number one, too.
Yeah. It is honestly, I thought it was a phenomenal movie.
Yep.
It was made expertly.
Yep.
The plot moves along so well, and I had a blast watching it. I would watch it again now, and we only watched that like a month ago.
Yeah, it's a legitimately great
Yeah.
movie.
And that's because it's Paul Verhoeven with like a really good cast, and
Yeah.
it's just
It's well written.
yeah, it's very much an era product too. It's a '90s film, like,
Yeah.
through and through.
It has that layer, that like veneer of 90s
Yeah.
cheese on it.
Yeah, like a soft focus,
Mm-hmm.
soft lighting, but it
Yeah.
still like really has a punch in the cinematography. So
Yeah.
definitely-
Very legitimately good movie.
yeah,
But you can't recommend it to everyone because it's a very adult movie at the
Yeah.
same time. You know, it's an erotic thriller. It basically made that genre.
Yeah.
Like, we looked up other erotic thrillers. There's nothing that comes close.
yeah,
So my number two, and maybe a more wider recommendation, The Village.
The Village.
I love The Village.
Okay, yeah,
It's very much so not for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, watching that, we know that. But it hit on pretty much every point for me, and it left me thinking.
I think you could probably get new people to watch that one, like me. I had never really seen it before.
Yeah.
I think your hard part there will be getting people to rewatch it.
Well, I mean,
don't have to,
I don't
but I'm
care.
saying.
You've seen it,
Yeah.
though. So
I
win.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I do. I would watch that one again myself.
Yeah.
My choice we've also already mentioned. My second choice.
Yeah.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Charlie St. Cloud. Chucky St. Cloud?
It was just a fun film,
It's a
and you
good
got to get your
movie.
Zac Efron fix every
You
now and then.
gotta. He's good. He's pure. And that's when
pure.
he's at his purest.
I'm surprised we didn't nominate him for Mr. Breakdown.
He's a Pantheon member, too.
Yeah.
That just shows all the hits that we get.
Maybe next time, Zach.
Maybe next time. It's a good movie. Amanda Cruz really good in it. Ray Liotta's weird and good in it. Donald Logue, Dave Franco. Like, there's a weirdly talented ensemble, and there's some really good stuff in it. I like
lot
that
of good
movie a lot.
stuff.
I'm glad you liked it so much too,
I
because I
didn't-
knew I was gonna love
I
it.
didn't think I would like it at all.
Yeah, and I know Taylor loved it too. So,
Yeah.
and how about this? To tag along to your recommendation, I think it's on Netflix. I think it's streaming.
If it is, you should watch it, guys.
We should look that up before I just throw it out there, but it's live.
We
and we're
should have looked
sticking
it
with
up,
it.
So we're gonna stick with it.
Wow.
That one, I highly recommend listening to that episode. I actually listened to it like a couple weeks ago myself, just to
Yeah.
hear it, and I was laughing the whole
Yeah.
time. So if you're not gonna watch Charlie St. Cloud, just listen to that episode.
For sure, it's a good one.
It's a very good one.
No.
I think that's all of our questions.
Yeah, I don't think that was 20, but I think that was a good number.
It was close enough.
Yeah.
With the audience questions in there.
Yeah. How about a couple audience questions at the end, maybe?
Yeah, if anybody in the audience, it's going to be a couple seconds here before you hear this, but anybody in the audience, if you have questions, feel free to throw a couple in right now. I've just kind of scrolled through, didn't see any right off the bat.
Oh.
My sister says she asks favorite guest host.
Oh,
And
how
honestly,
can you pick? That's not fair.
It's not fair to pick because we're always trying to get new guests and we're always welcoming new guests,
Yeah.
but we also love to revisit with our other guests.
We have a good stable of guests.
Yeah.
Because I
Our
think we've had
regulars.
maybe a dozen people guests
Yeah.
on our episodes. And honestly, I would love to have a guest on every episode because I think it adds to the discussion that much. But one thing I'd like to see is we haven't had Dan on since the number 23, and we haven't had Miles on since Fantastic Four. Those are both very early episodes. I'd love to have him on again now for a fresh movie with our new studio and everything. But honestly, everyone I'd love to have again.
Another question I just saw from Heather was which actors had the best chemistry, kind of a foil to our worst
Okay.
chemistry.
I think Amanda Crew and Zac Efron would be a good choice. They had a pretty natural
did.
relationship, especially when you compare it to Zac Efron and Taylor Schilling in The
Yeah.
Lucky One.
Yeah. Chilling.
Chilling. Ooh,
There was no heat
wowza.
there,
So no S.
no. No S.
How about another one of the ones we talked about, Basic Instinct, Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone?
Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna work, but it worked.
Because I think when we just think about Michael Douglas, we kind of think gross.
Yeah, we get grossed out.
But he's kind of gross in it, but he's fine.
This one was kind of surprising, but Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, the Andrew Silverman and
Andrew McCarthy
yeah.
and Jonathan Silverman. Yeah,
that counts, right?
they had good chemistry with themselves and with dead Bernie, so
Yeah.
that was surprising.
How about Joe Dirt, David Spade, and Kid Rock?
Yeah,
Their
okay.
chemistry were as foils to one another. But I honestly think Kid Rock's performance in Joe Dirt is iconic.
We'll see how his election performance does soon, running for Senate.
We just saw he's running for Senate. I'm gonna
Yeah.
donate.
I'm going to donate to Kid Rock.
I'm looking at our list here. Nothing else really jumps off the page. National Treasure, one, I love it, but Nicolas Cage actually kind of worked with Diane Kruger.
Yeah.
And on paper, that doesn't work, but in the context of the film, I think it did. So I'll give a shout there.
Other than that, I don't see too many that like really jump out as far as chemistry.
Our fresh half will be a lot better.
Yeah, you'll see a lot better acting here.
Yeah. Great question though.
Really good question.
Let's answer one more. Let's see.
One more question. See if there's any down here. Let's see. A lot of good jokes in here, guys. I'm liking these jokes.
Fab jokes.
So,
No more questions. That's okay.
Wait. No, I already read that one.
Max, do you have any questions for me?
I'm trying to think. Do I have a question? Maybe if you had to pick one of these movies, I already know the answer, honestly. I was going to say, if you had to pick one of these movies as a first date movie, what would it be?
Joe Dirt.
Never mind. I thought you were going to say
No.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Let me think about it. A first date movie.
You went with Joe Dirt right off the bat. I think that counts. I think that counts.
No. Okay, so here's the thing with a first date movie. You don't want anything that's too interesting,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know? And you want something that has some thrills,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because you want to sit close to
Thrills. I got my answer.
Let's hear yours while
I know what you did last summer.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it works with the criteria I just laid out.
It matches perfectly the criteria you just said.
Yeah, it's just kind of a Garbo movie. What about maybe Miami Vice? But that's a real snoozer.
You guys could nap together at least. So.
That'd be cute.
Plus,
she'd have a good story.
I think
She'd
we're
come
gonna-
home from my date. She'd tell all her friends, like, yeah, like he made me a really basic dinner, and then we watched Michael Mann's Miami Vice and fell asleep separately.
we have some good questions coming in now.
Oh, okay.
I want to lock in your Joe Dirt on that one, but Daniel asked us what movie are you most looking forward to reviewing coming up?
Legitimately, I'm excited about almost every movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about our next week's movie because it's a series that's weirdly near and dear to my heart. We're watching Rush Hour for our 60% movie. the one to christen us into
Yeah.
freshness.
It's a movie we both love, so that's
And
exciting.
I love the whole series,
Yeah.
even 3, which is
Yeah.
stinky garbage.
It's
I love it.
still rush hour though.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. But honestly, all the movies we got coming up are really interesting.
I'm the most excited for the one that's like 10 away, which is Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
I think it's a just amazing, weird film, and I just can't wait to talk about it. So
I'm trying to stay open minded because I don't love over the top action. So
it's not even over the top action.
well, then I'm gonna like it more than I think.
Yeah, there's action in it, but it's a strange film.
Yeah.
So I think the director is either one of the producers for Dune or was the father of the producer for Dune.
Father of the
So-
producer. Yeah.
It's De Laurentiis, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I got a question for you.
okay.
Just kind of jumping on that. What movie most exceeded your expectations that we've watched so far?
Okay.
Like going into it, you were expecting it to be bad.
Okay, so going in, I was expecting to be bad. I mean, we keep hitting on that with
Yeah.
with Charlie St. Cloud. I was pleasantly surprised with that
Right.
one. Trying to see if there's anything else.
Mine was Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a pretty aged and terrible comedy, but it's legitimately funny still.
that's probably a better, more recent answer for
Yeah.
sure. We had a good time. The first 15 minutes, we laughed almost every single joke.
Yeah, it's
Like-
it's very funny before they
Yeah.
even get to the dead Bernie gag.
Yeah, it's even more so funny knowing that like the economy has like crashed once or twice since then. With all the jokes they're making, somehow made it funnier.
Yeah, it did.
So
It's a good
it's-
movie.
it's-
It
it's-
holds up weirdly well.
yeah. And the leads work even with Andrew McCarthy playing cool guy who isn't actually cool.
Is a total dork
Yeah.
too.
So no, I'm that's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
I think that's a good one to ramp it up on.
Yeah, let's wrap it up there.
let's
Sorry
wrap
if we
it up.
didn't get to your question.
Yeah. Maybe we can record a little stinger here, and then we can answer some more questions. There's still some filing in.
Yeah.
But we do want to thank everyone who's joined us live.
Joined us live.
This has actually been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it quite a bit, and I've enjoyed having you guys for feedback. I don't know that we're going to do it all that often anymore, but we'll see.
I would love to
people
do
like
this
it.
as much as
Yeah.
possible.
It makes the format interesting, you know?
Yeah. We might just one day experiment and just stream ourselves recording like a live episode that's an actual normal episode without
Sure.
as much interaction.
Let's do it.
But we'll do these special ones too.
Yeah.
So
Max, where can the good people find us?
you can find us jotting down as many questions as we can an hour before a podcast. Just kidding. Or
2 days before a podcast.
2 days. Or you can find us at thecriticalbreakdown.com. You can always find me here on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter at Max Rivera Film.
You can find me here on Facebook. That's new. We haven't said that yet. No, that's a good fresh addition.
Yeah.
You can find me at breakdown underscore Scott on Instagram. It's all pictures of my pug.
All pictures.
But that's
of
better than
that's
pictures of
not
me.
a euphemism. So
Shoot us an email. Let us know your thoughts on this
Yeah.
format. If you enjoyed the live stream and the interaction, send us an email at the criticalbreakdownpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure that you leave us a rating and a review on iTunes on Apple Podcasts or on Google Play, wherever you're listening. That helps us out a lot. You guys just joining in helps a lot too. It's nice to see that live feedback. Josh Rivera did our art.
he's in the comments.
Sure is. He's also I think he's self-dubbed himself the podcast moderator.
That's fair.
Yeah. And Jason Brown did our music.
Did our music. Great
and
music.
It's fantastic. Wally is the podcast nappy boy.
He's just sleeping through this right here, not even putting in his work.
No.
Um,
Big yawn. Good boy.
and just a little bit here. If for some reason you think of a question later, just email it to us.
Yeah. We'd love to read it on the air.
What's our email address?
The Critical Breakdown Podcast @gmail.com.
Just to reiterate.
We want to shorten that. I've
Yeah.
talked about that for like a month and
We'll
never
do it
done
soon.
anything.
It's
too much.
Yeah, we'll have it.
It's a lot of
I'll set it up.
characters.
I'll set it up this week.
All right, good. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for looking back with us. And next week we look forward to Rush Hour.
Rush hour. Let's not rush there.
Okay.
Now you're speaking my language.
All right.
All right.
How about this too? Here at the end, we will we'll do our giveaway.
Okay.
So we've got quite a few people here in the chat. Here's what the giveaway is. It is a Blu-ray copy of the 1980s Penny Marshall directed hit Big, starring Tom Hanks. One of the hosts of the Critical Breakdown accidentally bought 2 copies of the Blu-ray. Don't you hate when that happens?
I wonder which one of us it was.
Yeah. But if you guys want to stick around for a minute, Max is going to talk about. He's going to talk about.
I'm going to talk about the what I watched this week. I watched a movie called The Hollers. I've stopped recording, so I'm just going to ramble for a second.
Yeah.
It was a little indie film. It wasn't that great, but it was all right. It was good, but
good
not
cast.
great.
Who's the cast?
John Krasinski directed and starred in it. Mary Elizabeth Winstead had a tiny bit part. Anna Kendrick was in it. What's the actress that we like a lot?
Margot Martindale.
Margot Martindale. Y'all, Margot Martindale is a powerhouse. You should watch anything she's in.
Here,
it was
give me the
pretty
mouse.
good. It was pretty good. I'm gonna give the mouse to Scott real
Sorry.
quick.
A lot of logistics involved here.
And then I'm going to talk about, they mentioned today that Wonder Woman 2 might be set in the Cold War.
Ooh, I like that.
That's kind of interesting. I found that to be cool.
What else have you been watching?
Did
you finish Glow, by the way?
Yeah, I finished Glow.
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling?
Glow is phenomenal. If you guys want to watch a good show, watch Netflix's Glow. It's Alison Brie, Mark Maron. It's about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. You don't have to like wrestling or know anything about wrestling to get it. It's just good stuff. So watch it. I've been rewatching Game of Thrones, the last season. Getting ready for this new season starting up soon.
Yeah, this Sunday, right?
This Sunday. Return to Westeros. Khaleesi's. All that good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they go. The dragons are really big.
Can you write down anyone else's name that I forgot? I think I got everybody who has participated. But I know I forgot someone. You know it though. No subtle way to do that. I'll talk about what I've been watching. I've been in a bit of a rewatchy mood, and I have been watching some movies that I've seen before. I watched Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol again. Mm-hmm. I'm a big sucker for the Mission Impossible series, and I find that movie aged very well. Brad Bird directed it instead of Christopher McQuarrie, who does all the new ones.
Nice.
And the newest one has Henry Cavill playing the antagonist, so I'm excited for that.
That's
cool. Ghost Protocol holds up pretty well. So
the next one coming out has Henry Cavill?
The next one coming out, yeah.
Huh.
So it's Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation, and I don't know the name of the new one, but I know Jeremy Renner's not in it. They dropped him. They didn't drop him. He actually dropped Mission Impossible in favor of filming the new Avengers. And apparently he's going to be in the newest Bourne movie. So they're bringing him back, even though the Bourne Legacy was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. If you have a chance to rewatch Brad Bird's Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I have it on Blu-ray, so I watched it there, but it's really good. Another thing that I watched, it's not even a rewatch, it's just a new watch. I watched Power Rangers.
How was that?
It's okay. It's objectively not very good.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge sucker for Power Rangers just in general. So I was happy watching it. There's some good callbacks. They're trying to build this whole lore, and I don't think it really hits home. Like Zordon was a former Ranger in this one, and the one thing I liked is
spoilers.
They reveal that literally in the opening scene. So, the one thing I did like was that all the kids were legitimate screw ups.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to get into it too much because it is sort of a fresh release still, but all the kids had legitimate problems and they were facing them and growing together, and I did like that. So
yeah,
It's okay. If you're a big fan of Power Rangers, you'll probably still like it. It's objectively not a great movie, so if you're looking for something really good, don't watch it. I also watched Men in Black 3 just the other day. Hadn't seen it yet. It's got Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, and Will Smith. It was really nice to see charismatic young Will Smith again.
Yeah.
We don't see that much anymore. We get a lot of serious movies from him. So that was nice to see, and he's very good in it still. The movie as a whole, honestly, isn't very good, I don't think. Like, the pieces never quite come together, but Men in Black's always been fun and fresh enough to me that I still enjoyed it. I still laughed a lot. There was no Frank the Pug, so that I didn't like. But, you know, that's what I've been
Frank
watching.
the Pug.
Yeah.
So he's not in the third one?
No. And I can't even remember the second one if he died or something. I doubt it.
I hope not.
Yeah, but...
Don't let Mickey watch that second one then, just in case.
No. Well, I was disappointed he didn't get to see the third one.
All right.
Okay, so I think we're ready to do our drawing. Max is going to go to random.org, which is the official Critical Breakdown random number generator.
All right, here we go.
We got everybody who's been participating on a list here.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And this is how the magic happens. The winner.
Do you mind count? Make sure it's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
The winner of a Blu-ray copy of Big, none other than Sarah Tennant, former
Sarah
guest on the pod.
Tennant.
I know that she's seen Big before, and she's gonna like owning it. Sarah Tennant also owns a Blu-ray player. I bought one with her on Black
Nice.
Friday one day, so I know she's gonna appreciate this.
And that's on Blu-ray, right?
It is on Blu-ray. Have we emphasized that this is a Blu-ray?
You can't just get those anywhere.
Yeah. If I had another extra copy of a movie, I'd give that away.
Well, maybe next live broadcast we can give out either one of our Rottens, or we could just get an extra copy.
We could give something else away. We got a lot of people here.
Do you want another contest?
Let's do another contest. What
Another
are we giving
contest.
away? Let's decide.
Another DVD?
Blu-ray. Because the first
another
one got a Blu-ray.
True.
What about a Blu-ray copy of Pan?
Pan, a movie so stupid we forgot to bring it up.
Well, it also wasn't actually one of our movies on the list.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Hook was
Another
the
answer.
movie.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we just
yeah,
jumped to it.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Another giveaway.
Let's give it away. That's my Garrett
I
Hedlund.
love his Garrett Hedlund.
It's my only impression that's good.
Another giveaway to get a copy of Pan on Blu-ray. Daniel Withers,
This is rigged.
Sarah's
This
fiance.
is rigged. Sarah and Daniel, you guys have won big tonight.
Yeah.
And you won Pan.
That's it, though, guys. I don't have more Blu-rays to give away. So good work, Daniel.
All right.
The podcast admin, Josh, has declared rigged or rigid.
Or rigid.
And so Daniel, you have to deal with his scorn. But
Yeah.
I think that's all, folks.
That's it.
Thanks again for joining.
We've done
Sorry to those of you who did not win the giveaway. And you're welcome to the couple who won both halves of our giveaway, including our spontaneous second half.
This means the Critical Breakdown will not be getting you a wedding gift.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're done.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Well,
Thanks
keep-
again, guys. We're logging off.
Yeah. Keep an eye out. We'll do this again.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good night.